Hi everyone. I think you were all wondering where did Rita go, but I'm here and I'm not alone. So it will be a nice live stream. Sorry for this lateness of ours. We were just having some technical issues, but it seems that all is covered at the moment. So I think we can preview or anticipate a quite interesting live stream of ours. So before anything else, as you know, I'm Rita from X Geeks, and I'm super excited to see you all here today for one more of our live streams, the 1st of April. And I can tell you that this won't be the only one. If this is the first time that you're watching our live streams, as I always say, we're happy to see you here and be very much welcome. If you've been following our work, it's even better to see you here because we really appreciate our community and thank you for always showing up. And if you're watching us in the recording, great as well. We know that we're not always available at the same time. We hope you enjoy this time with us, and you can also leave some feedback and comments and questions on the comment section. But before we get to our real talk, if you don't know us yet, and if this is the first time that you're hearing about X6 and what we do, very shortly, we're an engineering company focused on providing capacity to product companies. And X6 represents the balance between projects and products. And our teams across Portugal work in building products while dealing with the broad stack. And if you want to know more about X6, our team, our content, what we do, our positions, and whatever you want to really understand and grasp a feeling about X Geeks, you can make sure to follow us on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on Medium, and around other channels such as YouTube as well. We do some cool stuff around. But as you know, I could be here, as I said at the beginning, talking about X6 for the entire live stream. And I know I always say this, but let's leave that to another time. But with no further ado, I want to bring you to the stage Rafael Denero, which will be our speaker of today. Rafael will give us a talk about Duke Star Trek with Java 17 code challenges. But before that, and before we bring Rafael to the stage, we're going to have space for questions, comments, anything that you want to bring to this live stream of ours. So you can feel free to leave those in the chat. Okay, so the chat will be a connection between here, the stream, and yourself over there at home. But with no further ado, let's bring Rafael to the stage. Rafael, welcome to our live stream. How are you?
Hello, Rita. Very good, very good. And you? Happy to be here. Happy for the invitation to be here.
Nice. Thank you so much, Rafael, for having some time to explain us a bit of this topic, which I won't go deep because you're the expert. So maybe let's just get into that and just leave a brief reminder while Rafael shares his screen on bringing questions to our chat. And yeah, let's go. Rafael, do you want to share your screen so that I can give access to everyone?
For sure, yes. Let me start sharing my screen.
Perfect.
Can you see my screen?
We can see your screen. So I'll leave the stage to you, Rafael. Let's give it a go. And thank you so much for everyone joining us. Again, remember to leave your comments or your questions in the comment section. Go ahead, Rafael, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Rita. And thank you so much, guys, for being here and to be interested in learning the new Java features. And like just to briefly introduce myself, I'm Rafael Del Nero. I'm a Java champion, and I'm also the creator of the Java Challengers Initiative. And today we're going to see some key Java code challenges, introducing some key features from the JDK 6 until JDK 17, okay? To get the best of this presentation, you can download the code in the following link, Rafa Del Nero Star Trek Java Challengers. You're going to notice that the code format won't be perfect because we had to put the code in the screen in a way that you can read. And no planets were harmed in the making of this presentation. So since it's a Star Trek presentation, we're going to explore the planets, but we didn't harm them, okay? So this is the summary of this talk. So we're going to be starting in Java in the JDK 6, and then we're going to go into JDK 17, okay? So, and like I said, the link here to the code, you can access github.com/Rafa /Star Trek Java Challengers. Then you can download the code there and you can do your own tests, okay? So let's get started. So this is the JGK solar system since 1996 to 2009. And 2009, the red giant absorbed sun. And nowadays we have all of those new Java versions created by the red giant oracle. Okay, so let's continue. So let's get started in the JGK 6. As you can see here, we are using the interface DQ, and we are using the implementation of linked list. Then we are using a couple of methods from DQ, and then we are showing some data from this linked list, okay? So I'm gonna show you the options, and please, if you can send the answers on the chat, that would be great. Because then you can practice and you can participate on this talk better. Do I have any answer, Rita, on the chat?
We don't have yet any answer, but I think people are just wondering at home. We're just trying to understand.
If you don't know, don't worry. You can just guess the answer you think it's the correct one. And then you can see the answer. Okay, so let's see the answer for this one. Come on, Duke. Okay, so the answer is D. So why is D? So the add first method will add word first in the linked list. And then the push method will push although to the first position, and add the last, it's gonna be the last one. And then the remove method is gonna remove the first element and it's gonna print it as well. The pick method doesn't remove anything, it just picks the first element. The pop method will also remove the element on the top of the DQ. And the poll method will just remove the last one. It's important to know data structures such as Q or DQ, or and to know those main methods from this important data structure. Like it's important to know about the concept of queues and stack. And of course, Java provides both concepts. And you can use both of those concepts on the DQ interface. And the linked list implementation is a very powerful one. And you can use basically the concept of queues and stack, which one uses the FIFO approach, and the other one uses the LIFO approach. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, so now we are in the JDK 7, the door malfunction. And as you can see, we are using the try with resources feature here. And what is it? The main motivation for this feature is to have the try block is to be able to close resource within the try block, because in the past we were supposed to close a resource in the finally block. With the try with resources, we don't need to do that anymore. And of course, we can create our own auto-closable class. In this case, it's the ship door challenge class. And in the JDK, you have default implementations for dealing with files or dealing with SQL classes. So you have many pre-created classes in the JDK. You can just use it. Okay, so as you can see, we are using the ship door challenge within the try block. And we are doing some operations here. And so I just want you to try to answer this one, try to answer what's going to be the output of this challenge, okay? So I'm going to open the alternatives and I'm going to give you some time to think about it.
Rafael, I think we might have a shy audience, you know, they're afraid of showing their answers, maybe.
Yeah, guys, don't worry, because I know the Java challenges are hard. So if you make a mistake, it's totally okay, because here the intention is just learning. So if you try, it's better because you're going to learn better. Because when you make a mistake, you usually remember it more easily. So don't be afraid of trying out to answer any alternative. Just guess one. You might be right. Who knows? Any answer, Rita?
We don't have any answers yet. We have a lot of people saying hi, hello.
Okay, hello guys, hello.
But we have an answer from Diego, and Diego, thank you so much for bringing your answer, which is A.
Oh, nice! Congratulations for trying it, Diego. Let's see if we have more courageous people in the audience trying it out. I know it's hard, but if you try it out, you're gonna learn better, because then you remember. Okay, so let's see where Duck will go. Oh, it's C.
It's
Okay,
C.
so why it's C? So as you can see here, the first step that's going to happen here is that the open method is going to be invoked, and then we're going to throw the runtime exception with the message fail to open door. And after that, we're going to the close method will be invoked, and then ship door is closed will be printed, and then the catch block will be executed, which is the fourth step, and then in the end, the finally block is going to be executed. So as you can see, the close method will be invoked even if there is a runtime exception. So that's why we can close a resource with the try with resources feature. Otherwise, if there was like if the close method wasn't invoked, in case of error, it wouldn't be enough. So just to give a summary here, firstly, we invoke the open method, and then on this open method, we the runtime exception is thrown, and then the close method will be invoked automatically. Which this is the purpose of the auto-closable interface, is to invoke the close method automatically. And then the catch block will be invoked normally, and of course, in the end, it's going to be the finally block. Okay, so JDK8, this is the string with lambdas feature. So we are creating an array with 3 elements, and we are using a string, and then we are using the pick method. We are limiting it to 2, and then we are iterating it with the for each method. So those are the alternatives, and I can give you some time to think about it. And let me know what alternative you think it is the output. Do you have any answer, Rita?
We don't have any answers, but we have still people joining the live. So,
Okay.
guys,
Diego,
exactly.
guys.
We have Diego, we have Maxi, we also have Otávio saying hello from Portugal. We have
Maxi,
Nuno,
Otávio.
exactly. Rui, Serra, guys, if you have Ambu, if you have any suggestions that you want to give to this one, go ahead. Or
So which alternative?
Or maybe Rafa, on this one, you go ahead. Oh, Diego is saying maybe D. Thank you, Diego, for showing up. Thank you so much. Diego
Thanks,
is saying
Diego.
maybe D. What do you think,
Okay.
Rafa, on this one?
Okay, we can continue. Let's see what Duke says. Oh, it's A. Okay, let's see why it's A. So there are some concepts here that are very important with streams. One concept that is key about streams are the intermediate operations and the termination operations methods. Intermediate operation methods are usually methods that will manipulate the stream of data some way. They only manipulate that, but they don't do any kind of action. We only do actions, we only bring the data or do something meaningful with this data with terminal operation methods. And an example of terminal operation methods are for each or collect. There are many of them. Another point here is that streams are lazy. So the intermediate operation methods be only invoked if I have a terminal operation method, like for each or collect or and so on. So another important point about streams is that streams are very smart, so they don't waste performance, which means that if we use the limit of 2, it will only process 2 elements. It won't process all 3 elements, which means that we're going to only get Kirk and Spock. So we start from the pick, and we print Kirk and then pick. And then, of course, we print Kirk on the for each method. And then we print Spock pick again, and then Spock on the for each method. So to remember, intermediate operation methods, they are only to manipulate data on the string. And terminal operation methods, you can collect the data, you can do something with this data by using those key concepts. You can go deeper into that. There are many other methods that you can explore about streams. And by the way, I wrote all the concepts of streams in the Java Challengers book, which I'm also giving you half, like, percent of discount. So you can really go deep into those in the book. And there are many other Java challenges there. Okay, so let's go to the next one. This is the doors challenge. And this is a challenge focused on lambdas. And as you can see, we have a variable declared, and then we do some operations in the for each method. Okay, so you can give a brief look in the code, and I can show you the alternatives. So you can guess what's going to be the output, or what's going to happen when this program is executed. Okay, does anybody have any answer? Diego, Otavio, who else?
Maxi also gave an answer on the previous one, and he was actually right. It was A.
Oh,
So,
congratulations.
yeah,
Congratulations, Maxi.
it was a nice one. Maxi, do you want to give it a go for this one? So Maxi is saying C or D.
C or D,
Diego
okay.
checking.
You have to decide, Maxi. You have to decide which one. Decide one of them. Diego, Otavio, well.
So maybe that could be teamwork. So Diego, within C or D, which one would you choose?
Yeah, it's only one alternative, okay? So
Okay.
only one alternative is correct.
Maxi is saying he thinks it's D. C,
D.
actually, sorry. C.
Okay, C.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone else? Diego? No?
I think they're wondering. So
Okay.
maybe you can go for that one. Go ahead.
Okay, so let's call Duke.
Oops, sorry to interrupt you, but
yeah.
Diego says it's D. So
D, okay.
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, let's see Duke then. Come on, Duke. It's C. Okay, so congratulations.
So close.
Maxi. And congratulations, Diego, for trying out. And that's a good thing because you are learning here, right? So, okay, so why it's C? So lambdas are actually part of the functional programming paradigm. So it tries to maintain the principle that when you have a function, a lambda function, it should be immutable. What does that mean? It means that variables outside of the lambda scope can't be changed inside a lambda block. So as you can see in the for each block, we have a lambda expression, and we are trying to change the door number variable. And this is not allowed because, like I said, streams and lambdas, they try to follow the functional programming paradigm. And one of the principles of functional programming is that variables should be immutable. So this means that you can't change a state, an outside state from within a lambda function. So, okay. So, and why we have a compilation error here? It's because the variables have to be final or effectively final. What does that mean? It means that if we don't change the outside variable, it's totally okay. We can use this variable inside the lambda expression. And if we have a final variable, it's okay also because it's impossible to change. So just remember this principle that you can't change the variable value when you are using a lambda. And it's not even recommended because it goes against the principle of functional programming. There are some edge cases in Java, but we don't need to go deep into that now. But the important thing here is that outside variables can't be changed. And like why lambdas are good for Java? It's because it allows us to create so much more concise code. For example, you can do so many powerful things with streams just by using the functional interfaces. And you can save so much code and do so many cool things. For example, you don't need to use anonymous inner classes anymore. So you can do it very easily just by implementing your Lambda function. Instead of overriding a method from an anonymous inner class, you can simply use a Lambda function, which makes your code much better. Okay, JDK 10. JDK 13. Oh, another concept that's important to remember here, guys, is that Java 8 is a long-term version. Java 11 is another long-term version. What does that mean? It means that the Java vendors like Oracle or Azure or Amazon, they will be maintaining these versions far longer. And this means that you can use a long-term version on your production application more reliably. So if you have to make a decision on which Java version to use, go for the LTS version, which is the long-term version of Java. Because, for example, Java 12, 13, 14, they are short-term versions, which means that every 6 months, Oracle will release another Java version. Like if you really want to use the latest Java version, keep in mind that you're gonna have to change Java version every 6 months. So if you decide, no, okay, I want to use the latest Java versions, it's totally fine. The only thing is that you're gonna have to update your Java version every 6 months. So if you got Java 14, for example, or Java 18, you're gonna have to update to Java 19 after 6 months. So keep that in mind. Or if you want to keep a long-term version, you can use Java 17 because Java 17 is another long-term support version. Okay, so the short-term support version, JDK 14. So the concept we're gonna check here is the new switch case expression. So, okay, as you can see, we have a couple of methods here, and we're using lambdas in the switch case statement. So I'm going to open here the alternatives. And basically, I want to know what's the output. So you can guess, you can take a look and think on your answer. Okay. Do we have any answer? Maxi, Otavio, Diego? Try it out, guys, because that way you're going to learn more.
So we don't have answers yet, but I bet you're thinking of it.
Yeah, I understand this one is not so easy. But actually the complexity is more in the get Vulkan survivors method. Because the main method is just, we are just invoking the get Vulkan survivors. I can give you a little bit longer to think. Do you have any answer, Rita?
We don't have any answers yet, so maybe you can go ahead because I think people are just wondering.
Yeah, maybe this one is a bit hard.
A bit
Okay,
harder,
so
yeah. Go ahead.
let's call Duke. Duke, come on. Okay, so this alternative, this is B. So why it's B? And why it's important to use this new switch case statement? It's because it removes boilerplate code. Because in the old way to use the switch case statement, we had to use a break keyword in every case statement, right? And that's not even needed. This was just some kind of boilerplate code. Maybe that made sense many, many years ago, where we had kind of more low level code, and we had to take care of performance. And we had to work with bits. Anyway, we don't need to go deep into that, but the point here is that it reduces the boilerplate code. So you don't need to write the break keyword anymore. And as you can see, we are able to return a value with this new switch case statement. And in the first case, Spock and data, you can notice that we have more than one line. So firstly, we're gonna print every day is a rescue day. And then the yield keyword is used here basically to return a value, nothing more than that. It will just return a value. And the yield keyword is only used when we have more than one line in our Lambda expression in this new switch case statement. And notice that we are comparing if the integer wrapper 129 is equals to a primitive 129. And as we are comparing this integer object with a primitive type, what's going to happen is that there will be a conversion on the type, and it's going to happen here a primitive number comparison instead of an integer wrapper comparison. This means that it's going to return 10. So we have every day's rescue day 10, and then Michael Eddington will be invoked. And the string 6 will be different than new string 6. Why? Because when we use a new string in Java, we are forcing the creation of a new object in the memory heap, which means that like when we compare two objects with equals, we will be comparing the object, not the value actually. And here we're going to have two different objects created in the memory heap, which means that in the end we're going to have 4. So it's going to be false here. It's comparison. And in the end, in the default statement, we are just returning a new illegal state exception. It's just an object, so we're not throwing an exception. Therefore, this exception, this object is going to be returned to survivors with ln. And in the end, we're going to just print the data. So the important point here is that now we can return a value right away with Lambda by using the new switch case statement. And when having more than one line, we have to use the yield keyword. Otherwise, the code won't compile. We can't use return, for example. It has to be yield. Okay, so let's continue. Text blocks. So this feature is so cool because we don't need to use a lot of plus signals anymore in our text, which makes our code much more concise and much better. So as you can see, we have one example using the old way of text in Java, and the second one is the new way, and we are using a text block. And then in the end, we are printing the quality of both objects, and we are doing something similar in the second line, okay? So I want you to think about the output. In the meantime, I'm going to show you the alternatives.
So no questions yet. Let's see. And actually, in the previous question, we Maxi and Diego mentioned it at time. Yeah, but it was after you Duke actually gave the answer.
Sorry, Rita, I couldn't hear you because of the music. I understood that Maxi
and Diego also tried this one. I was saying that they tried in the previous one, but they also tried on this one. And they both said it's C. What do you think?
Okay,
or what does Duke think?
Let's see, Duke, come on. Nice, you got it right. Yeah, this is a hard one, so congratulations. This is very difficult. So, so why it's C? So it's because we are using the formatted method, and Java will actually, so there is a method precedence here. So Java will apply the formatted method only to the last HTML string. So, which means that I won't be able to substitute the %s by look in the first string. So in the Jedi without text block string, I won't be able to substitute the %s because the Java method precedence execution will only consider the last slash HTML string. Because as you can see, we are creating 1, 2, 3, 4 strings here. So we are creating 4 strings in the memory heap. So, and in the second variable, we have Jedi with text block. And here's different because we are using the text block feature. And as you can see, it makes the code much more concise, much better. You don't need to put a lot of plus signs. And when we use the formatted method, we can substitute the percentage s to look, for example. That won't cause any problems. And when we try to compare Jedi without text block and Jedi with text block, what's going to happen is that the value will be different because, like I said, the formatted method in the first Jedi without text block won't work. But if we use that again, now that we have the string already concatenated, then it's going to be equals because now we are able to substitute the percentage s. Now we are able to do the interpolation, the string interpolation, and we will be able to substitute the percentage s with look. Therefore, the second equals check will be true. Okay. So, and again, the motivation for text blocks is to diminish the code verbosity in Java. So this is one of the main goals for the future Java versions, so that we can have the robustness of Java, and at the same time, we can also write concise and clean code where code is just is easy to maintain and where you can track down bugs more quickly. Okay, so there is also the record feature. So as you can see here, we have the record called commander. Some details here is that you can use generics in this record. And then we are using an instance of check in a kind of a constructor. And then we create a record inside the main method. We have a couple of things happening here. So you can analyze the code, and I'm going to give some time to think about the output, okay? So I'm going to show you the alternatives.
We still don't have answers. Let's see.
We have answers?
We don't yet. We don't. Rafa, we don't.
Okay.
Let's see if Diego and Maxi will keep up on their great work. So Maxi, actually, we just said this, and Maxi thinks that it's C. And
it's
also
C.
Diego thinks it's C as well. So
okay. Who else wants to try it out?
Let's see if we have any other people besides Diego and Maxi.
Okay, so
I think we can see what Duke
okay,
says.
so let's call Duke. Let's call Duke. Duke, what's the answer? Oh, nice. Congratulations, guys. Congratulations. Okay, so we have the record here, and we have a generic type T. And generic type can be any kind of object, basically. We have also the constructor. It's kind of a different kind of constructor. It's a canonical constructor. You can see that we don't have the parentheses, but it behaves very similarly to a constructor. And the only check we have here is if the ship is instance of serializable. If it's not serializable, we're going to turn runtime exception. And we are instantiating the commander record with 3 values here. And we are creating a new record here with new ship. And notice that a record by default doesn't implement serializable. And we're going to print firstly the commander name, which is Spock. And then we're going to compare the commander with a new commander passing the new ship record. But remember that when we create this record, it's not serializable. So this means that the runtime exception will be thrown here. So you are right. The output is Spock, and then the runtime exception will be thrown. And the important things to remember about record is that you can create immutable data objects. We don't need to create getters. So you get for free. So you can initialize your data object through the constructor. And we have for free getters and the equals and hash code methods. And important thing to remember here is that you don't have setters. And you also can't extend a record because behind the scenes, a record is a final class. Final class can't be extended. And this is something that helps to really make a class immutable. So if you want to create simple data models, a record is a great option because you just don't need to create a lot of the boilerplate code, okay? Okay, so we have the last challenge. We have time for this one, Rita?
So I think we do. We have 1 minute until we can finish, but I think it could be a good way for us to finish strong. So you can go ahead, Rafa, on this one.
Yeah, this one will take more than 1 minute.
No, but it's fine. Don't worry. We started a bit later, so it's fine.
Okay. So this is the concept of sealed classes. This concept is interesting for code design because it helps you to control and restrict what class can extend your class or implement your interface. I can give you a very simple example. Let's suppose I have the interface vehicle, and I want this interface vehicle to be implemented only by car and truck. So if I restrict the access by using a sealed interface in my vehicle interface, what's going to happen is that I'm going to have control in what class can implement the vehicle interface, which means that this makes your code more reliable, and you can avoid, for example, let's suppose another developer creates another class called I don't know, bus class called as bus. This bus class won't be able to implement the vehicle interface. So it's for code design. It's to give you more restriction in your code, okay? Okay, so now that you understand the purpose of sealed classes, You can see that we have a sealed interface captain here. We have a default function. We have an unsealed class. We have also record, and then we have a main method in the end, okay? Notice that we have the hashtag A, B, and C. Take a look at those hashtags, and then just keep that in mind when you see the alternatives. Okay, can give you some time to think. Oh, not yet, Duke.
We don't have yet answers. Let's see.
Diego, Maxi.
Guys, you need to show up for the last one. I think you do. I bet you're thinking.
This is the last one, guys. Try it out, because then you're gonna remember.
Exactly. And as Rafa said before, there are no wrong answers on the definition of it. It's the fact that you, of course, can take a lot from it, regardless of being not a correct or incorrect answer. So I think
exactly,
just go for it.
Just go for it, yeah, because if you make a mistake, you're gonna learn.
So Maxi thinks it's C.
C, okay.
And D. And Diego thinks it's B. So
B, okay.
We have B and D as options. Let's see.
Perfect.
Which one is correct. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Rita. Okay, let's see. Come on, Duke. It's C. Okay. So why it's C? So first, notice that the interface captain is trying to permit Janeway. But remember that a class that is in the permit clause has to be either final or has to be a non-sealed class, or even a sealed class would work. But as the Janeway class is not a non-sealed class or a final class, we will have a compilation error. Okay. And another point is that in the new captain give order method won't work also, because it requires there are no anonymous classes. There are still more to explore on that. And like I said, I wrote a lot of details on the Java Challengers book, and you can explore records, you can explore text blocks, you can explore lambdas, streams, exceptions, inheritance. All of those core concepts of Java, I went very deep into them in the book. So you can go much deeper in the book, and there are a lot of Java challenges there, exclusives one, where you can really test your knowledge, okay? And I'm gonna give you a 50% discount to get the Java Challengers book. And just for you guys who are here in this conference, who will have access to this discount. You can go deep into the concept of, into all of those concepts. I talk about the queue, auto-closable, its stream, all of those concepts. I have many Java challenges about them. So we talked about the queue, auto-closable, the string, lambda for each, switch, the new switch case statement, text blocks, records, sealed classes. there is a lot more of concepts in the book, and you can get it for the half of the price, okay? And that's pretty much it, guys. I can share the link with the special coupon for you.
Let's do that. Do you want me to share the link? Because I think I have it, right, Rafa?
Please, yes. If you can share with the audience, that would be great.
Guys, you can find the link available at the moment, so please feel free to use it, and I think you'll enjoy it. Rafa, thank you so much for joining us. We had some questions, but actually you were answering them throughout the presentation. So,
great.
Yeah. So people mentioned that. So I think let's just wait a couple of more seconds if people have any questions over there at home before we wrap up today's live stream, if you agree. But while people are writing those down, Rafa, if people have any questions, can they reach out to you via Twitter and so on? Do you think it's a best channel for that?
Yes, they can just send me a direct message on Twitter.
Nice.
Or they can even better if they can put like a public message, then it's easier to me to answer, because then I can help more developers.
Yeah, and it's open to the community, so it's
yes, exactly
smart. Yeah,
that's
nice.
even better. Yeah,
cool.
So you can reach out, or if you prefer, you can send me a direct message. You can yeah, you can reach me out on Twitter.
Nice, cool. Thank you so much, then. I think we just have people appreciating. Diego saying thanks. Maxi also saying thank you. So I think we can wrap up the session by also saying thank you to Rafa for bringing this great talk and presentation, super interactive. And I think not only myself, which I'm not an expert, but I learned some stuff, and I bet over there at home it was also insightful and full of new information. So thank you so much, Rafa, for showing up once again. We'll be looking forward to your next talk with us. Let's arrange that. And thank you so much over there to everyone at home for watching us once again. We'll be having another live stream happening this month, so you just need to pay attention and see what we have going on. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. And thank you once again, Rafa. It was great to have you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Rita. Bye.